Okay, it looks like we are live in the Facebook group. I will just check in here. Be sure that everyone is there. Yep, there we go. We are there. Okay, we are in the group and we are streaming live. I'm excited about this today and all of you joining us. And I'm sure that there'll be more people in the live. We had a number of people that asked me if I was going to record it because they were not going to be able to attend, but they wanted to come to the replay. So it is being recorded. It will be available for replay. It'll be available in the ancestrally rooted healers and spiritual entrepreneurs community, and it will also be available afterwards. I'll be sending out the link to everyone that's on my email list. I will post that and you'll have access to it that way as well. So for those of you who are not in the group or maybe not on Facebook, it will be available for you, so you will be able to listen to it later. And now I just really want to welcome our current members of Ancestrally Rooted Healers and Spiritual Entrepreneurs and those who have recently joined us. I know a number of people have come and they've joined us since I sent out this message because they were as excited as I was to hear what Pamela has to share with us today. So I'm thrilled that you're here and I just want to welcome you. And today really marks a big occasion. It's a momentous occasion as we embark on a journey of wisdom and transformation with an exceptional guest who is the first of many to grace our virtual stage. And these incredible individuals are carefully handpicked by me. They are either from my own programs or they are people that I have personal experiences with. And they're all chosen with really one common purpose: to empower you with invaluable resources that will elevate your life and business to unimaginable heights. And that's what this group is really all about. But before we dive in headfirst into this enlightening conversation with our esteemed guest, Pamela, allow me to shed a light on why I felt this discussion was profoundly significant. It really is a tale as old as time. The ancestral stories of scarcity that have left a profound impact on our lives. And it often manifests as financial struggles, an uphill battle to find and retain clients who truly value our worth. And not only does it create financial struggles, but can also create lack in many other areas of our lives. And in my journey with clients, what I've witnessed is this miraculous transformation that occurs when we cleanse these ancestral scarcity stories. But what I find later is that people don't have really concrete steps for moving forward. They don't have a real good strategy for how they will move forward on their financial journey. And that's really why I wanted Pamela to come in, because she gives you that information. She helps you move forward on your path to a more prosperous future, helping you make better decisions about how you utilize the resources that you have. And here's the exciting part. When we conclude, Pamela has a special bonus that she will be offering and she'll be sharing with you as a token of her wisdom and her generosity. And then I have an exclusive invitation for each and every one of you to embark on a journey of healing your ancestral scarcity stories as we usher in this new year and create a fresh start, a clean slate, and allow ourselves to have unlimited possibilities for abundance in the new year. But before we delve deeper into the riches of the knowledge that Pamela will be undoubtedly imparting upon us today, let me introduce you to this amazing woman herself. Yes, here we go. Pamela Plick is on a mission to empower women to build wealth confidently from the inside out. She provides the education, the strategies, and tools to grow financial confidence, security, and freedom. Pamela is a certified financial planner, practitioner, a certified money coach, the CEO and founder of Pamela Plick Wealth Management. In addition, she's a speaker, a show host, a best-selling author of Rise to Your Money Power, a step-by-step guide for building the foundation for an empowered relationship with money. Her work has been highlighted in numerous media outlets, including Huffington Post, USA Today, and Forbes. And I would like to give you a special welcome as our first speaker in the Ancestrally rooted community. But before I do that, I wanted to show I have a copy of Pamela's book. Yes. And there's a lot of really great wisdom in here. And one of the pages was, I think it was like nurturing mindset, which is something that we all could use when we are trying to overcome some of our financial challenges, is having that prosperity mindset. But that was just one of the tools in there and one of the nuggets that I pulled out of there. There's so much wisdom in that book. So I encourage you, if you don't have the book, definitely reach out and make sure you get the book. So welcome, Pamela. I'm so excited that you're here. How are you?
I am awesome. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of those kind words. And I'm just honored to be the first guest. And I'm excited for, our conversation today.
I am too.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. So let's dive in. Where would you like to start?
Well, I'd love to start to just share a little bit of my story, and how I came to do the work that I'm doing today. And, as you mentioned, I'm on a mission, to empower women to confidently build wealth from the inside out. And I want to say also that I'm so grateful, first of all, for where I am today. I have a business that I love, doing the work that I feel that I'm called to do, working with clients that I love, with also not only the financial freedom, but the flexibility to spend time with friends and family doing things that I love, as well as supporting the causes that I'm passionate about. And now that was not always the case. uh, about 30 years ago, over 30 years ago now, I had never planned to get divorced. And, I married young, married for love. Everything was planned except the divorce. And so at that time, my son, Frank, was only 2 years old. And although I had just accepted a wonderful entry-level position in banking and finance, but I found myself in a really scary place. Not only scary, but also angry and resentful because I never planned to be the sole provider for my family. And although I had this great position, I was really struggling at that time to make ends meet, working as hard as I could to make enough for my son and myself. And my plan was actually to hope I would get promoted. Unfortunately, I didn't have a practical financial plan at that time. My plan was really to work hard, work really, really hard, work long hours, and hopefully get promoted and increase my income. And then I thought I'd be able to spend more time with my son, but not what happened. Yes, I got promoted. Yes, I worked my way up the corporate ladder, but the cost was less time with my son. And so, at that time, although I'd built a successful career in banking and finance, something was really missing. I had to really kind of step back because I was feeling exhausted, not just mentally, but also physically as well as spiritually, from years of overwork, and my career was no longer fulfilling. And so I realized, that I had never asked myself, what was it that I really wanted beyond banking? What was my vision for my life? And what was I really called to do? I kind of just went along with the flow, doing what I thought I was supposed to do to build that financial security. So once I gained clarity, I had a wonderful spiritual a spiritual advisor that I work with, but I also realized that I needed to embrace forgiveness. Because back then, forgiveness, not only for, again, for my ex-husband, although he was a great, he was a good man, had a good heart, but forgiving myself for what I felt at that time was a failure. But I realized that that was truly the catalyst for me in propelling me to this journey that I'm on today. Then I also looked at the beliefs that I had, that I needed to let go of, that were no longer serving me. And I'm sure we're going to talk more about this when we get into our conversation. But the belief that I had to work really hard. That's what I truly believe, that I had to work really hard in order to get ahead. And then I also had the belief that maybe I wasn't worthy of the success that or the life, that I desired. And then I also started looking at ways that I was living and managing my life that no longer aligned with my values, and had to kind of shift those. And as a result, I stepped into more education and training, to become the certified financial planner practitioner, as well as a certified money coach, and some other designations as well. But I did this because I really decided that I wanted the financial freedom. I wanted to be able to start my own business. I knew I wasn't meant to work for someone else. And I wanted to support women who had similar journeys, that I had, because I came across a lot of women who, for whatever reason, were not engaged around their money, or they needed to really heal something in their relationship with money in order to move forward, to create the financial freedom that they desired and a life that truly they deserve. So again, I'm really happy and proud that I have a life that that I love, doing the work that I love. And I also want to mention that my son, although he's an adult now, and he's an awesome man, and I have a beautiful daughter-in-law. So I'm just really so grateful for this journey that I've been on, that's led me to where I am today.
Wow. Wow. So you've been through a number of things that have brought you really here and are allowing you to share your wisdom. And it's interesting, that piece about worthiness and the piece that you talked about feeling like you have to work exceptionally hard in order for you to have the financial success or to be successful, period. And I can definitely point to a number of ancestral stories that really connects to. And we had ancestors that did work extremely hard, and they, most of us, depending on where we are in age, always heard, you got to work hard, you got to work hard in order for it to work, you got to work hard. And many of our ancestors did work really, really hard, because many of them were not allowed to do the things that were really inspiring to them. I'm sure now that you're doing the work that you're doing, I would imagine that you are not feeling like it is so hard, because you're doing something that you really love, that really inspires you. But I feel like that hard work thought, that whole wounding around that, comes from people working and doing things that they really didn't feel were in alignment with what they felt they were called to do. And they didn't have the resources, or some may say even the luxury, to do the things that they felt passionate about. They had to do what was going to bring in money. So that's
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know exactly where that work ethic came from. And you're right. My ancestors worked hard. A lot of them did a lot of physical work, and my dad was a military dad. And so, that if you're in the military, and I actually served as well, I'm a veteran, but you have that mentality, is you have to work hard. And I understood where that came from. But when he passed away at a younger age, like he was at 50 when he died. And I know a lot of that had to do with the stress and all of that. And I said, you know what? I know there's a better a better way. And I'm going to just find it. And you're right. It doesn't have to be hard. If we're in the flow, it comes with ease. Not that we're not going to have, trials and tribulations, but we're able to weather those
Yeah,
more
I
easily.
agree with you. I
Yeah.
agree with you when we really are in that place where we're, following our purpose, our inner guidance, things do flow a little bit easier and they don't feel as difficult and hard. I mean, I can remember leaving corporate America and saying to myself, I never want to work like that again. And I can remember, the whole idea of, I might have to be on call for an evening or maybe over the weekend because there could be some problem that come up and they will need someone to be available to assist. And I thought, ugh, the thought of working on a Saturday was horrible. And now if somebody says, "Oh, could you come and speak here or share information here on a Saturday?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." It's not the same as it was then. And that's because I don't feel like I'm doing hard work anymore, right? I'm not having to work hard, having to work smart, but not hard. So yeah, and that
Absolutely.
contributes to how, when we feel like the only way that we can have abundance is by working hard, that really kind of impacts our abundance as well.
It does. And, and I'm thinking about this too. And I think that, when we're taught that working hard, it does not necessarily equate to abundance. It equates to how much money you're going to make. And, and yes, we want to live, those of us, and we're all here because we are purpose-driven women. We know that we're here to make the world a better place through the work that we bring into the world and our unique talents and gifts. But it's more than just the financial piece of it. And like you said, abundance touches all areas of our lives, including our finances. And so we have to kind of keep that in mind, looking at abundance versus just financial prosperity.
They're very different, aren't they? Because we
They
can have
are.
abundance in many ways, and that will make us feel like we have financial prosperity, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, abundance can flow in many, many different ways. And I share that often with my clients when we're doing the scarcity work, that we're not just focusing on the financial part, we are focusing on abundance in all areas of your life. Because if all you have is financial abundance and you have no love, no friendships, no support, I mean, even no place to live, it won't really be as meaningful to you as if you have abundance in all of those areas. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I want to dive in. When you sent the information about the prosperity formula, 5 steps to more abundance in your business and life, I really want to know how you decided to dive into that topic and really what is that all about? Because I know we're going to get into the 5 steps, right?
Absolutely. We're going to get into the 5 steps. And really, what prompted me to dive into abundance, prosperity and abundance, is because I've always been fascinated with between mindset as well as success, and how our mindset truly can affect how successful we are. And I want to mention that, I believe there are 3 aspects of money that we need to address in order to have a good relationship with money. And that's the spiritual, the emotional, as well as the practical side. And the practical, we all know what we need to do, right? We need to, from a financial standpoint, making sure that we have a savings plan, an investment plan, plan for retirement, and we know that we need to do these things, but if we're not doing it, then there's something that needs to be addressed in the other two pillars. And so that just really fascinated me in terms of looking at what are some of the spiritual aspects, or things that we heard growing up, for those of us who may have grown up, in a religious environment or in going to church, or, some of the things that were said, as well as the emotional, the beliefs that we have because of things that we heard about money. And so I really wanted to look at how can we merge those three pillars to ensure that we create a life of prosperity and abundance. And so I came up with the prosperity formula, and it is based on how I work with my clients. And it's very transformational. And so I'm really excited to share to share that with you today.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about it because I've heard you talk about it and I've heard, parts of it, but I'm looking forward to I want to know all these 5 steps. I need all of it. I'll be taking notes and everything.
Wonderful.
And I
Okay.
want to know how does this really contribute to achieving abundance? And I know that it helps with both our personal and our business, right?
It does.
Yeah, and I want to know, I want to know it all. So please, we have one person to let in, another person to let in, and I'm sure there'll be some other people dropping in as well. But yes, please start. Tell us.
Wonderful. I absolutely. And I'm gonna share these 5 steps, but first I want to share my intention. So my intention for those of you that are here with us live, or either you're watching the replay, um, my intention for you today is that you embark on a transformative journey towards abundance and fulfillment by embracing wholeheartedly the prosperity formula and these 5 steps to create more abundance in your business and your life. And so the first step to more abundance in your business and your life is to trust your vision. Now, your vision is your compass, right? It's like our true north. It guides us to where we want to be long term. And so by embracing your vision, you allow it to be your guiding light towards a world that's brimming with abundance. Now, in order to know where you're going, you have to have a vision, right? And how many of us have ever, and those of you that are here in the room, I'd love for you to just put me in the chat, if you've ever been talked out of a vision by a well-meaning family member or friend. And, a lot of us have. And you know what? The thing that I say is that it's okay that they don't see your vision because the universe gave it to you. And if they gave you that vision, then you can achieve it. But the point is, you want to have your vision and you want to trust it. And one of the ways that you can actually bring that vision to light is writing out that big grand vision every day. I'm not every day, but writing it out and looking at it every day. Because sometimes, especially those of us who are entrepreneurs, some days are better than others. And we may think, well, you know what? Why did I decide to do this? And when you have those days, you can revisit your vision, and it reminds you of your compass, where you're headed. And it gives you this calmness that the universe is supporting you in that vision.
I like that. having that vision and how important it is to have that vision. I know you recommended that people write out the vision and look and read it frequently. Can they also do like a vision board? Or I've even done vision books with people where their vision is in a book, like a photo album, and they flip through it or open it up to a certain page every day and look at it. Is that another way that they can possibly really focus on that vision as well?
Absolutely. I haven't done a vision book yet, but I love vision boards, because and I actually have my vision board that's right here to the right of me, and it's in the prosperity center of my room, according to feng shui. But it's important when you do the vision board, you create the vision board, it needs to be photos that evoke an emotional response. They need to excite you. So whatever works for you, and I know now they're digital vision boards as well. So whatever is going to keep you connected to your big grand vision. And and like I said, one of my morning rituals is to read my vision every day, because it helps me get grounded and it helps me to get into the right mindset for what I want to accomplish. But absolutely, vision boards and the vision books, those are awesome too.
Great, 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 great. I love your tips. I love that part about waking up in the morning and reading it every day. And it sounds to me too that it helps to give you that motivation to focus on the things that are most important for you to accomplish that day as well.
It does. It does. And I think as part of that, it's really important to have a morning ritual, whatever is going to get you grounded, get you focused, get you ready for the day. Make the reading your vision part of that. It can also be prayer, whatever it is that helps you to stay in your vision. You want to make sure that that's part of your morning routine.
I like that. So if you're watching in the Facebook group or you're here live in the group with us, if you want to just type in what is your morning ritual? Do you do a spiritual practice? Do you meditate? Do you look at your vision? What do you do when you first start your day out? We would love to hear from you. Okay, so that's number one.
Yep, that's number one. Now, the second step to more abundance in your business and life is to let go of outdated beliefs. And you want to release those beliefs that are holding you back. You release them, make space for the new possibilities, and that way you can invite limitless abundance and prosperity into your life. Now, I mentioned that there's three aspects of money that you want to address in order to have a good relationship with money. So there's three areas that we could have these limiting beliefs. And one, in the spiritual as well as emotional beliefs and practical beliefs as well. And what's interesting when we talk about spiritual, and I'd love to hear if any of you had um, statements that you heard growing up, whether it's from family members or others, that you heard about money. One of the big ones when we talk about spiritual is used to hear that money is the root of all evil. Anybody heard that? MoNique, I'm sure you've heard that.
Yep, I've heard people. I even have clients that will tell me that that's how they were raised.
Yes. And what's interesting is that it's a misquote. The Bible doesn't say money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. So if that's your sole motivation, that's what, it's trying to say. But just thinking about, our beliefs are generational. And so the good news is because they're generational, they can be changed. They're not yours. One of the things that I know my dad used to say is that money doesn't grow on trees. So, having that feeling like maybe I was asking for too much, or maybe there wasn't enough. So just thinking about, let go of the beliefs that are no longer serving you. And a big one that I hear, especially from women entrepreneurs or women in general, that I'm not good with money, and that's an outdated, or that's a false belief, because anyone can be good with money, you know if you maybe you didn't have the education or the training, but that can be changed. So important to let go of those limiting beliefs. And one action step that you can take is really to, first of all, identify what is my current relationship with money, and where did my beliefs about money originate. Because a lot of times, not a lot of times, but in general, our money beliefs are imprinted upon us as children, usually by our parents or whoever raised us. But there are other areas, as I mentioned, religious, sometimes it's cultural as well. And so identify, what are my beliefs about money that really are no longer serving me, and where did they originate from?
That's a good.
Yes.
I love that, because that also links into a lot with our ancestrally
Mhm.
rooted beliefs. Beliefs that our ancestors had, that may have been carried from generation to generation to generation, about the scarcity of money. The money is the root of all evil, because in their minds, the experiences that they had with people that had money were negative experiences. So they continue to pass that down from generation to generation. And then it becomes a part of our being and how we make our decisions. And that's why it's so important for us to really begin to clear those ancestral stories, so that we can make new decisions and take new steps and release those beliefs. So I love what you're saying. It definitely, I see it quite often with the clients that I work with, that they are not necessarily holding on to beliefs that they have created on their own.
Mhm.
These aren't some things that originated with them. Sometimes they don't even know where it came from, right? Sometimes it's energetic. When we talk about the spiritual piece, sometimes it's an energy that they don't even realize that's there, that is creating the beliefs that they have about money or abundance, period.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, the good news is, they're not your beliefs.
Right.
Once you identify them, and then you can take the steps to shift those beliefs. And I want to mention another action step that you can take is, I'm a big fan of affirmations. Research has shown that we have thoughts. 95% of our thoughts are unconscious. They're going to show up, right? We don't have control over that. But as long as we can stop and identify the thought, like, for example, I'm not good with money, or I will, I will never have a thriving business. Okay. That's a thought that might come up, but the way that you shift it is to create a positive affirmation, like such as, I always make good money decisions, or I have a thriving business doing the work that I love, working with clients that I love who will pay me abundantly for my services. So look at a way to shift that thought, and that helps to retrain your brain. And even if you don't quite believe it yet, but you say it enough and you will, and you'll start to see the transformation.
I love that. I think that is so important, and to, really taking that moment to do that shift. And I often, when I'm working with my clients, one of the spiritual practices that I give them is, as you are experiencing the thoughts that you don't want, shift for a moment and say, okay, so what do I want?
Mhm.
and allow yourself to just kind of really go and visualize and dream about what you do want. And I encourage them to check in and do that about 4 or 5 times a day, to just take that moment. And that may mean setting an alarm, that may mean, I have the mindfulness bell that goes off every hour that allows me to just shift whatever I may be thinking to what I really want. So it may be affirmations that I say, it may be gratitude, it might be me just really acknowledging that the thoughts that I had in that moment were not helpful and they're not going to get me to where I want to be. And so that's one of the practices that I share with people. And I love that you're giving some practical things that people can do to really start to shift this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the last point that I want to make is that the thoughts are going to come up. Don't dwell on them, don't beat yourself up, but like you said, have the practical tools to help you shift, to shift those thoughts. And that will help you become more positive and move forward, raise your vibration and move forward, and helping you to get to that vision, that big grand vision that you have.
Yeah, because your that monkey mind can start going crazy places, and then you begin to see evidence that supports that,
Mhm.
and then it just takes you down, this tunnel, this dark tunnel that you don't want to be in. So these are good practical steps. Great.
Great. Yeah. And so the third step to create more abundance in your business and in your life is to cultivate a prosperity mindset. And the number one way to cultivate a prosperity mindset is to practice gratitude, because what we appreciate appreciates. And so keeping that in mind, when we foster a mindset of abundance, gratitude, and possibility, regardless of where you are on your financial journey, then you open yourself up to attracting more prosperity in your business and your life. And one of the practical actions, obviously, is we can create a gratitude journal. That's a great way to foster, to cultivate a prosperity mindset, is to write down everything that what we're grateful for. Maybe part of your evening routine is to write 5 things that you're grateful for each day. And that way it also kind of helps reshift, your brain, and it helps set you up for a successful day, the next day. So creating, practicing gratitude for the things that you have, and for the people in your life as well. How many times are we think about how grateful we are for that someone's in our life, or someone um, showed us an act of kindness or whatever it might be, and we haven't expressed that. So making sure that we do express gratitude um, for what we have and what we receive, and actually what's going to come in as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that come in part. Yes. My mother, who is 81 years old and has no problem sharing her age, she does this every morning. Every morning, that's the start of her day. She meditates and then she writes in her journal what she's grateful for that she's already experienced. And then she writes what she's grateful for, the things that haven't actually come yet, but she's already grateful because she knows they will be coming. And I know that she's gone back from time to time and read through her gratitude journal and has seen the things that she wrote have come to be. So it's pretty exciting to watch her get excited
I know,
about.
that's wonderful. I do that as well. And it's amazing. You don't even think about it until you go back and
Mhm.
say, oh, all of these things have come come forth, the things that I wanted to express, for the future. So it's really, yeah, it's really important to express the gratitude in order to cultivate the prosperity.
Yes, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. So that's number 3, but there's more parts to number 3, I'm guessing.
Well, I covered really, yeah, what I wanted to cover in number 3. So yeah, making sure that we cultivate a prosperity mindset, and then also remembering that the universe is infinite, right? There's always enough. There's always enough, and so making sure that we don't fall into that lack mentality, um, and just focusing on, again, what the prosperity, and a gratitude, really appreciating where we are in the moment.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that. So that was cultivating a prosperity mindset.
absolutely. Yeah. And step 4, well, the 4th step to more abundance in your business and life is to know that you can ask for support. And what I always say is we need to, as women, we need to overcome the CEO mindset. And by CEO, I mean Chief Everything Officer. And as women, we are normally raised to, historically, we've been raised to be the caregivers, the nurturers. We have a tendency to take care of everyone else before we take care of ourselves. And we don't like to ask for support because we see it as a sign of weakness. And seeking support is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And so I want to encourage women to make sure that you reach out and take advantage or harness the collective power that can uplift you and support you to greater abundance. And also, it's also a form of self-care. And there's a quote that I really love from Iyanla Vanzant said it. She said, putting yourself first is not selfish, it's self-full. Because as purpose-driven women, spiritual women, we strive to keep our spiritual cup overflowing, right? And so what's inside the cup is for us, and what overflows is for everyone else, whoever we need to serve, or the causes that we're passionate about, whatever that might be. But in order to keep that cup overflowing, we have to put ourselves first. And it's okay to do that.
Taking care of yourself. That's big, and asking for that help is so important. There's so many women that feel like the superwoman badge is a badge of honor, and it really is not. It will weaken you in the end. It is okay to be strong, but it is also okay to ask for help when you feel you need it. And I think a lot of times we tend to shy away from that. And I like that you include that in part of this, because I see so often that women have come from very strong women in their family who handled everything, or maybe their mothers were head of household, right? And they saw their mothers have to do it all and didn't have the help, or didn't know to ask for the help. And so they feel like that is the way they're supposed to be, whether they're in a relationship or not in a relationship, but they feel that that's the way they're supposed to be. And then, they achieve something, really grand in their careers, and they've made all of these achievements. And then I see them and they're extremely burnt out because they've tried to do all of this. I love that this is included in those 5 steps, because to me, that would really speak to health abundance, right?
Mhm.
Health wealth, if you want to call it that. Just that peace that you need to have in order for you to have wealth in all areas of your life. So this is great. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely. And the last step to more abundance in your business and life is to take inspired action. And it's so important that you let inspiration be your launch pad, by take courageous action, purposeful action, towards your dreams, knowing that each step is going to bring you closer to a future that's overflowing with abundance and prosperity. So going back, once we've created that big grand vision, right? In all areas of our life, not just finances, because money touches every area of our lives. So when you're creating that big grand vision, make sure that you're including, like, how does my life look like 5 years from now? My business, who am I with? My relationships, spiritual development. So that big grand vision, once you have that, and making sure that your vision aligns with your values, out of that, you're going to create the action, the goals, actually create your goals, and then create the action steps or the inspired action steps that are going to take you or propel you to that vision. And when you're taking inspired action, we may have a whole list of action steps that we need to take to get to a particular goal. The important thing, if we're always thinking about the big picture, then a lot of times we get overwhelmed. So only focus on what is the next inspired step that I need to take, and take that step. And then once you've done that, move on to the next step. So that's in general with your finances in your life, with making sure that in order to get to the financial abundance of financial freedom, what is it that you need to do? What is your goal, that you want to achieve over the next year, maybe 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, whatever it is, and then create that action step to get to that goal.
I like that. I like that. Can you give us an example of maybe someone you work with? Of course, not, there's privacy, of course, in there, so not sharing but I would be curious to know what kinds of action steps are you helping people around taking so that they can implement all of these 5 steps, because that inspired action piece is, that is crucial and critical to, creating abundance in our lives. Because sometimes people think, well, I'll just focus on the spiritual piece and, I'll meditate and I'll do the affirmations and the mindset work and it's all just going to flow to me and I don't have to do anything. And while they're doing that, all these different opportunities are flowing to them and they're not taking any type of action. So I'm just curious, what kinds of actions and what things do you coach your clients around when it comes to inspired action?
Absolutely. And thank you for bringing that point up, because the universe is an active universe, right? Um, yes, the universe is going to rise to meet us, but we have to do our part in order for us to achieve what we want to achieve. So kind of an example, when I work with clients, and I have a wonderful program, Unlock Your Money Power DNA Blueprint, and it's broken into different milestones. So yes, we want to identify what is my current relationship with money, how is that affecting my life today, and where did it originate from, so that they can learn to shift those beliefs and have practical tools and strategies to be able to do that. So identifying where the beliefs came from, then learning how to shift them, you're learning the tools to the spiritual, emotional, and practical to address those 3 areas. And once you have that foundation, then it's time to create your strategy and your action plan. And, it's interesting because that's part of what the work that I do with all of my clients. Let's create, what is it that you want to create? And it may be, in their business. Like, for example, I have a client that has been in corporate America. She's actually a social worker in corporate America for quite a while. And her goal was to, within 2 years, she wanted to be able to officially retire from her job, start a new business because she's passionate about health and wellness. So, to become a health and wellness coach, and to be able to actually move to another country, and be able to do her work, there. And so what she when she came to me, she was very fearful about money. She had she would make financial decisions. She'd get out of debt, then she end up in debt again. So she was so unsure of her financial decisions because of the results. And so we were able to shift all of that, create a plan for her, so that this is, the goal is to retire from corporate America, to start my own business within 2 years. That's the goal. It aligns with her financial freedom, right? The financial freedom is one of her values. And we created an actual step-by-step plan for her to get there. Another goal was to make sure that she had a certain amount in her retirement plan. So we actually mapped out a goal, a strategy and action steps to help her get to that as well. And I was so excited that I got an email from her recently. And she was saying that I just want to share, it had a whole list of things that she's accomplished over the past year, that she's on track. She started her business. She's actually gotten a new clients as well, increased her retirement. And she was so excited that she's on track. And, that's the kind of transformation that I absolutely love to see, with my clients, because we talked about the 3 pillars of money, but then there's also 8 archetypes, money archetypes. And out of those 8, only 3 are what we aspire to. And one of the archetypes is the warrior, and she gets things done. And I was so excited to see her inner warrior come out, that she is knocking out that action plan and is on track to get to where she wants to be longer term.
That's a great story. See what is possible
Warrior.
when you work with someone that can guide you, because sometimes we have these blind spots and we think, oh, well, I can just do this myself. I can do this myself. And you can, but it may take you even longer because you're not able to see the blind spot. So what could possibly take you, a year or less to do with help may take you 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or you may never get there and you may continue to struggle. And that's why it's so important to have that support and have someone like you that can go through and help people identify these things, to really identify and clarify their vision, because some people I find are not really clear about what their vision is. They're not sure what they want because oftentimes they don't even believe they can have what they want. And therefore they're no longer even able to see anything for themselves. And having someone to work with to talk them through is really powerful.
Yes, it really is. And you touched on something that I want to mention. One of the big obstacles also that I see is in women is procrastination. And a lot of times we procrastinate because we don't know, it's out of fear, fear of making a mistake. And the good news is procrastination is easily overcome with financial education and financial support. And so that helps you to get unstuck, to be able to just take action, to get unstuck and to help you to propel you to move forward.
Yeah, and once again, that help that you offer for
Mm-hmm.
someone, you can see it sometimes where they can't even see that it's procrastination that's related to fear. And I've even found procrastination related to fear. And then when we do the ancestral work, we find that it's ancestrally rooted fear that has been passed forward that is now creating these problems. But even, the work that you do with helping people identify where those limiting beliefs are, really what's happening mentally is really powerful too, because we sometimes don't even see that what we're saying and what we're thinking is not in alignment with where we really want to go. We're using wording that keeps us stuck. We're using wording that keeps us in a struggle, and we may not even realize that we're using it or realize that we're thinking it until somebody from outside of us hears us or sees us or asks the right questions like you do and lets us know, wait a minute, that's probably not where you want to continue staying. That's not where you want to live, right? In your mind, that's not where you want your mind to live. That's not where you want your thoughts to be. And it's very important. And I love that you do these pieces with people because it's not just about, going out and making more money. It really is about having, all of this to me impacts abundance in every area of our life. And it stops us from thinking that we have to work hard and go get the money and we're chasing the money, but that sometimes will never come because these other pieces are missing. And I love what you're offering. And I know that you have something that you want to offer the people who are listening. So I am going to let you tell us what it is. I'm going to post it in the Facebook group. I'm going to post it in the chat, and then I will be sending an email as well. And then Pamela may even pop into the group and post it again, or answer any questions that you may have popped in the group. But I'll let you go ahead and tell them what it is.
Sure, absolutely. I want to share that abundance is not just a distant dream. It's really a tangible reality that's just waiting for you to embrace. And so that's why I created the Prosperity Path, a purpose-driven woman's guide to more abundance in your business and life. And it's actually a companion to our talk today. And it is based on the exact process that I use with my clients to transform their mindset, and so that they can witness the remarkable success in their business and personal lives. So to get the Prosperity Path guide, just click the link that Dr. MoNique is putting in the chat or in the comments, and just enter your name and your email address, and the guide will be immediately sent to you. So again, just click on that link. It's a wonderful resource to help you to grow more abundance, cultivate more abundance and prosperity.
I look forward to downloading it because I have downloaded your journal that you've talked about before. And I
Yeah.
know that all of the wisdom that you share is always very, very helpful. So I would encourage you to go and download this now so that you have it and you can start your path to prosperity. This is really beautiful. Thank you. Well, I know you said that it was okay if we open the line to questions, and I know we've already been on for an hour, but if you have a few more minutes, I would love to give people an opportunity to ask questions. If you are listening to us on Facebook, in our Facebook group, the Zoom link is there. jump into Zoom so you can ask your question, because it's easier to do it there. But if you do have something and you post it and it's something that I can quickly address, I will. But come on over to the Zoom room if you want to really have a conversation with Pamela. So if anyone has a question, then I'll have you just go ahead and raise your hand and ask Pamela a question. Because I know you guys have questions. Or you can unmute yourself if you, because some people don't know where that little hand raising
Yeah,
thing
the little
is,
hand.
but they know where that unmute button is. So if you know where the unmute button is and you have a question, please feel free to ask Pamela anything that you want to ask. Or if you have a question for me, that's fine too. Ask away. We would love to give you this opportunity. Just think about it. This is an opportunity to get, some support right now. And we would love to help you with that. So let's just take a look and see if there's any questions in the chat. Okay, it looks like people are a little shy today, which is fine.
Maybe they need to digest a little bit.
Yeah,
And
you've
that's
given a
okay.
lot.
That's okay. Feel free, if you'd like to post your question later in the Facebook community, I'm happy to answer that. Once you download the free gift, if you want to just reply to the email, we can certainly start a conversation that way as well.
Yes,
So happy to do that.
Yeah, you've offered so much great wisdom and information that I can see why people are just like, taking it all in. And it really gives a foundation to get started with shifting, our abundance and really shifting into this energy of wealth in all areas of our life. So not just financial wealth, but just wealth in every area of our lives, relationships, health, all of it. So this is good. Perfect. Okay, so you may have some questions before we end, but I wanted to just quickly give an invitation. As we've been talking, I mentioned a couple of areas where ancestrally rooted stories can create some blocks to our abundance as well. And when those stories are embedded so deeply in our DNA, it impacts some of the decisions that we make. It impacts the choices that we make about our finances, about our relationships. It impacts sometimes us really taking advantage of opportunities. And I often see that when I'm working with people, there'll be an abundance of opportunities, but they're feeling very frozen. And when we dive a little deeper and we start communicating with their ancestors, we find that paralysis, if you will, or that inability to move forward or make a decision or take an action step or really shift their thinking and their mindset is deeply rooted in the ancestral stories that have created generational wounds that are now showing up in their lives today. And as Pamela said, the beautiful story behind that is we can shift those because they're not our own, right? We've inherited them. We are experiencing them, but we can absolutely shift out of them immediately. And so I have a special invitation for you that is a program that is near and dear to my heart that I've had a number of people go through. It's called the Abundance Awakening, Healing Ancestral Poverty Wounds. And this is for coaches, healers, spiritual entrepreneurs, and it will absolutely work for other people as well. It is a powerful program. And this course is really designed to help you heal those generational wounds caused by stories of scarcity and poverty. And you'll gain really incredible insight and some skills and knowledge. You'll learn how to connect with your ancestors for manifestation and enhance your intuition, because it's important that we have the intuition. And we talked a little bit about that because your vision actually comes from some intuitive feelings that you have as well. So when we connect with our ancestors, we can actually increase our intuition and enhance it deeply. And then just, I want you to just imagine the power of tapping into the wisdom and guidance of your lineage and then using it to create abundance and success in your life. And that's exactly what I guide you through in this program. It's a 4-week program, it's a self-study program, but I'm also going to be doing a live call as well for people who enroll in the program. So if you enroll by December 15th, I'm giving a $50 savings. And that's because I really want to help people kickstart the new year and really start the new year free of some of these stories that have impacted our lives and now are impacting our abundance. So you'll learn about healing, ancestral wounds. You'll be taken through some exercises and some practices that will help you release those wounds. You'll gain clarity about how these wounds may be silently sabotaging your work and your life. And you'll develop some practical skills to connect with your ancestors. You'll learn different ways to begin to invite your healthy, heal, and whole ancestors into your life. Now, we won't be working with the ancestors that are wounded. We'll be working with those healthy ancestors that then we can invite to help work with the ancestors that carry these wounds. And you'll really have a brand new narrative of abundance for yourself. So it's just a 4-week program. It's the Abundance Awakening, and you can join now, like I said, for $50 off. And so the program is just $97 to get you started. I really want to see people. So I'm going to pop that into our chat as well here and into our Facebook group. And if you have questions about it, please feel free to ask questions. Now, if you're ready and you know this is what you want to do, I have a fast action bonus. So in the next 48 hours, if you decide to sign up, I will invite you to a manifestation and mindset intensive that I am doing in January for my current clients. You will be included in that. You'll be able to come and do that. It'll be a 2-hour program, and it really will be focusing on going deeper and releasing more levels of scarcity wounds and other ancestral wounds that impact our abundance. And it will give you an opportunity to really begin to set the tone and the vibration and the energy around creating more abundance in your life. So that's my invitation to you. I would love for you to participate and continue this work. And we may even be able to get Pamela to give us some insights about that later on as well. But for today, I just want to thank all of you for being here. And I want to thank you, Pamela, for taking the time to come speak in the group, be a part of the group, for your participation in the group. And I also want to, you have a group too, right? You have a Facebook group.
I do.
Yeah, tell us. In fact, what I would love for you to do when you go into our Facebook group is to just put your group in there. So if people want to join, you're always sharing valuable wisdom in there. You tips, you have your weekly presentation that you do every Wednesday. Pamela does a presentation in the group. You can go in there and continue your learning with her. So I would definitely go ahead and tell us what it is. And then, or if you want, you can even type it in the chat so that people can search for it on Facebook if they want.
Yeah, the name of the group is Rise to Your Money Power. And it's a private community for purpose-driven women entrepreneurs who want to create an empowering relationship with money while building a thriving business. And so we have a wonderful group of ladies who are supportive and that are on this journey with you. And I'll just go ahead. Here is the link. So in case anyone would like to check it out.
Perfect. Okay. And then when we're finished, then maybe you can go in and pop it in our
Yeah.
Facebook group too. That would be great. Fabulous. Well, I just want to take this opportunity once again to say thank you. and how much I adore you. I adore your work. I know that it's valuable. I have, heard about the stories of people making major transformations working with you. And I would encourage anyone who is ready to really set out on that path of creating a powerful financial and an abundant future to really check you out, right? Talk to you, learn about your programs because she is fabulous. She really is. So thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for joining us on this transformation journey that we were on today and will continue into the new year. And I want to once again remind you to go and grab Pamela's gift that she has shared, because I think you'll find that there's some valuable information in there that will take what we did today even further. So I would encourage you to do that. And if you're ready to release those ancestral wounds, I invite you to join us in the abundance and poverty clearing class. So thank you very much for being here. Have an absolutely wonderful evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world, at whatever time you're listening. I hope your holidays are going well and that you are surrounded by an abundance of love, joy, prosperity, opportunity, peace, wherever you are. So
Yeah.
I'll just say bye for now. Thank you.